why don't you think about one question for me, which is it possible to turn your life around? Now, I didn't think it was. I grew up being a good kid, striving for good grades. You know, I had hobbies, I had passions, always pleasing my parents. I would go to singing competitions because my favorite thing to do was to sing. And with that came a lot of praise. Now, you might think, oh, praise, that's amazing. Like, who doesn't like to hear good things about themselves? But when I was younger, I would feel like that praise was undeserved, or in a way, unwarranted. And it sort of led me down a path of negativity. It led me down a path of eating disorders because I liked when people would say that my arms were skinny. I would go and have depressive episodes where I wouldn't even be able to get out of bed. I would have anxiety and even more stuff that I would like to not mention. And you know, all these things happen, but I wanna use that to say that the path to self-love is not easy. I'm a living, breathing, walking example of that. But I feel like it's even worse when people are sort of unknowingly enabling that self-hatred and self-loathing. Obviously, it's not their fault. They're not saying anything different from what they would with their other friends or anything like that, but for you, you have different boundaries. And after experiencing this time and time again of me not being able to communicate with my friends and me not having fun and, in a way, effective relationships with my friends, I stumbled on a completely different scenario. I had just moved back to Kazakhstan in the end of 8th grade, and after the obviously necessary time of middle school drama passing, I got a new group of friends. The type of friends that were supportive of my achievements without making me feel like a child or putting down the things that I liked, who were respectful of my boundaries, who would make compromises. If I wanted coffee and they wanted sushi, we would go to a sushi place that sells coffee. And then most importantly, they're the friends who made me realize that self-love is of utmost importance. Now, I'm definitely not perfect yet. And, you know, you're hearing all these things, you know, you're hearing me going, oh my God, my life is so bad, I crave pity, pity me. But I feel like I've gone, like, you might ask yourself, why hasn't she just gone to a therapist? Which I have, and not to say that therapists are bad, they're licensed professionals, but for me, personally, they didn't work. And what I realized is that I learned through experience best. This is the experience that allowed me to learn who to keep in my life and who to not keep in my life. This is the experience that allowed me to say what I want to say and not be afraid of what other people might think of it. And I feel like that's one of the most important things in your life. Knowing how to say no, knowing how to set your boundaries. And, you know, the well-being of your self-worth and mental health affects your whole life. You can develop so many more healthy coping mechanisms through it and, you know, sort of put the negativity into perspective. See, is this really worth being so angry or sad about? Most of the time, no. And a few of the people here might know that I'm still not very good with that. But that's besides the point. But I feel like it's so important to mention this because especially as a young teenager, as a person from Gen Z, a generation who has grown up knowing nothing but social media, All they know is technology. All they know is influencers. All they know is these perfected personalities and perfected edited bodies. How are you supposed to feel confident when you see that? You have higher expectations not only for others, but also for yourself, which is why you might feel it is difficult for you to set boundaries, because you might feel like you want to do more, you want to please people, but that's not completely necessary. Now, the easiest way to take this emotional and mental stress off of you is just to take time for yourself. And it can be as simple as taking 10 minutes to clear your room and have some new space for you to sort of work and feel healthier, or it can be a whole spot that you can go all out, get a bath bomb. Has anybody ever talked about how bath bombs are like the most amazing thing ever? That's crazy. But you can pamper yourself and make yourself feel so much better. You can set those boundaries with yourself not to overwork yourself. For example, with me, I have trouble uploading big projects because I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I don't want to upload bad work. I don't want to promise to do something and then not do it the way I'm supposed to do it. But as long as I haven't procrastinated on a project, which is a whole different topic, if that project is making me sacrifice my sleep, that's when I put it down. Set it and forget it. That's enough. That's when I leave it, and that's when I just say, you know, all right, it is what it is. Now, this brings me to my last point, which is a rhetorical question, sort of a hypothetical for you guys. Would you rather have a friend group of 10 to 15 people who make you feel okay about yourself? Sometimes they make these snarky comments. Sometimes they say stuff like, "Oh, that's how you're doing your hair today? No, that's cute." Like, you can tell it's sarcastic, or you can tell it's not genuine. Or would you rather have a friend group who makes you feel amazing, but is only 3 people? Makes you feel so comfortable in your skin, and makes you feel like you can share anything that you're comfortable with, if we're being honest. Because for me, I would rather take the latter. For me, it's quality over quantity. I would rather take the 3 friends and spend some time alone than, taking the 10 to 15 just to post on my Instagram story and be like, "Oh my God, guys, look at me, I'm so cool." I feel like that's not the most important thing in your life. And I leave you with this final message of anything or anyone that costs you your mental health is too expensive. Thank you.